Hello and welcome to News Now. At least 36 people who were attending a funeral have lost their lives in Abadam, a village on the Niger-Nigeria border. An unidentified plane reportedly dropped a bomb on the village while the villagers were assembled near a mosque, of course, the plane mistook them now for Boko Haram insurgents. Niger is accusing Nigeria of being responsible for the bombing, which also left 24 others wounded. Nigeria has, however, denied any involvement in the airstrike. Nigerian Air Force spokesperson Air Commodore Dele Alonge said no such incident had been reported to the Air Force authorities. Abadam lies on the border about 13 kilometers southwest of Basso, where thousands of soldiers from Chad and Niger are massed in preparation for operations against Boko Haram. The Niger government has declared 3 days of national mourning in honor of the dead. The Nigerian military says it has killed more Boko Haram militants in its ongoing airstrikes around the SEC stronghold in the Sambisa forest and parts of Gwoza in northeast Borno State. Director of Defense Information Major General Chris Olukolade in a statement said all the airstrikes so far have been successful, but he did not give the number of insurgents that have been killed in the operation, saying the military will give that detail later when the mission is completed and stock taken down. He said the airstrikes are still continuing and that the sex training camps and logistics dumps in the Sambisa forest and parts of Gwoza have been targeted. Now, the Sambisa forest in Borno State is known to be the fortress of Boko Haram. It is generally believed that it is where the sect might be hiding the over 200 girls it kidnapped from Chibok in April last year. Gwoza has long been under the control of the insurgents. Now, the army intends to overcome the terrorist group before general elections scheduled for March 28 and April 11. President Goodluck Jonathan has commissioned Nigeria actually has 4 additional warships in its naval fleet. President Goodluck Jonathan was at the naval dockyard on Victoria Island in Lagos today, where he formally commissioned the ships. This report captures that event. Nigeria's President Goodluck Jonathan has commissioned 4 naval warships, which the country Navy says would be used to patrol Nigeria's waterways and the piracy-prone Gulf of Guinea. Nigeria has been battling oil thieves on its waterways. The country loses over 100,000 barrels of oil per day to oil theft. Nigeria's Chief of Naval Staff said while one of the ships is for training purposes, the others would be deployed to help combat the menace of oil theft.
Gentlemen, Nigerian Navy is an expensive venture, and in spite of that, Mr. President decided to commit huge funds to recapitalize the Navy in our renewal effort. The only time that we enjoyed this was during President Shehu Shagari, during which 3 ships were commissioned at the same time. Today we are commissioning 4. That means a lot of money must have been invested. And Mr. President has taken ownership of the Nigerian Navy.
Among the ships, one was acquired from the United States of America, another China. One other was donated by the Chinese government. President Jonathan said his government is committed to improving the capacity of the country's armed forces.
I've watched the growth of the Nigerian Navy because I was here 1st of June 2012 to commission the NNS Handle, the Navy platform that was built in this dockyard by the Nigerian Navy. And of course, even in the operations, I've watched and I've seen significant improvement. One area that is coming out clearly is that the volume of crude oil being stolen is reducing, even though willful vandalism of pipelines, especially gas pipelines that are meant for power generation that nobody still gas. It's increasing vandalism in the swamps. But in terms of stealing of our crude in coastal waters, where the Navy can oversee. That's why I'm so delighted to be here today to commission 4 new platforms that were recently added to the Nigerian Navy fleet. These ships, the NNS Obama, a high-endurance cutter acquired from the United States of America with their assistance, as explained by the Chief of Naval Staff, the NNS Prosperity, the former Irish Navy patrol boat that acquired for training purposes, the NNS Centenary, one of the 2 offshore patrol vessels we are procuring from China, and the NNS Sagona, which was donated by the Chinese government to Nigeria. In fact, the president promised when I visited, and they have fulfilled that pledge.
The president was later given a tour of one of the ships to see firsthand its capabilities. Now, President Goodluck Jonathan used the occasion of the commissioning of the 4 naval warships in Lagos to assure Nigerians that there would be no shift again in the date of general elections. Take a listen to what he said.
Let me also use this platform to promise my good countrymen and women that we will rouse Boko Haram. Our capacity has increased sufficiently, and our men, officers and men, are doing wonderfully well in the north. And we must conduct our elections scheduled by INEC. Because within this period, we are convinced that we will return the north to a level where the activities of extremists will not affect our elections. We are working hard day and night, and I directed that Nigerians should be briefed regularly. We have improved the capacity, technical capacity of our men, both the Air Force and the Army. We are pleased with what is happening.
Now, Nigeria's electoral body, Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has appeared, as a chairman now of INEC, has actually appeared before the country's Senate Wednesday, telling the lawmakers that the commission would use card readers for next month's general elections in order to eliminate electoral fraud during the elections. Some senators and the ruling People's Democratic Party had raised objections with the use of the card readers, arguing that it was unlawful to deploy them for the elections. But Professor Tahiru Jega told the senators that the card readers would only be used for accreditation and not actual voting.
What if a card reader fails? What if a person is verified, but his fingerprint cannot be authenticated? We have worked together with all registered political parties and agreed on what to do if any of these has arisen. In the highly unlikely event that a card reader fails, we have enough spares to deploy before the end of the accreditation at 1 p.m. and then adjust the time to gain for lost time where or if a card reader has failed. If we cannot replace before the end of accreditation, then the election in that particular voting point would be postponed to the following day when a new card reader will be provided for the election. And we agreed with political parties to do this because if you say if a card reader fails, then revert to manual, we are worried that then everywhere it will revert to manual because there are many people who don't want the card reader to be used. If a voter's permanent voter's card has been read and his or her details have been verified, but his fingerprints cannot be authenticated, or he or she has no fingers, an incidence form would be written by the presiding officer of the voting point, and the voter would then be accredited. Party agents and observers will be there to testify to this. In the next few weeks, the Commission hopes to utilize, as I mentioned earlier on, the 6 weeks period of extension to organize more extensive public enlightenment and testing of the card readers. But we've already done a number of tests.
Nigeria's main opposition, All Progressives Congress APC, says it has uncovered a fresh plot asking Muslims not to vote for Muslims in the forthcoming general elections. The party, in a statement signed by its National Publicity Secretary Lai Mohammed, says it is alerting Nigerians to the plot by those it called, quote, desperate politicians to circulate leaflets in mosques and churches asking Muslims to vote for Muslims. Describing the leaflets as satanic, the party said the desperate politicians are hoping to revive what it calls their shriveling political fortunes through the use of religion. It accused Vice President Namadi Sambo of stoking religious sentiments to win votes when, at a recent rally, Sambo bluntly told the crowd the ruling PDP was more Islamic than the opposition APC. The party called on Nigerians to disregard anyone peddling religion as a tool for securing votes in any part of the country. Now, former Minister of State for Defense Musili Obanikoro will have to wait till March the 5th to know if he will ever contest in any election in Nigeria again. This is because the Lagos State High Court in Ikeja has now adjourned judgment on a suit seeking to stop Obanikoro from ever contesting for any electoral office in Nigeria. Among the allegations leveled against the ex-minister is that he had at one time or the other falsified his age and had submitted a first birth certificate to the Independent National Electoral Commission for the purpose of contesting governorship election in Lagos State. The suit filed by Michael Ogun, Sulaiman Sahid and Wasiu Oduson, all of Obanikoro's party, the PDP. Now, the plaintiffs want the court to determine whether he was still eligible to contest any election in Nigeria, having voluntarily acquired the citizenship of the United States of America in addition to the citizenship of Nigeria. Lawyer for the plaintiffs, Wahab Shitu, said Obanikoro's alleged misconduct were an affront on certain sections of the 1999 Constitution and Electoral Act 2010 as amended. Now, Obanikoro's lawyer, Benga Ojo, described the suit as speculative and an abuse of court processes because of its failure to disclose any reasonable course of action. We'll take a short break. When we come back, more stories. Don't go away. Every day, every hour, and every minute, news break in Nigeria. Things happen so fast, it's most times difficult to track and comprehend them. But that's what we do right here on TV360. 2015, would you want to come back again?
It's like asking Jesus Christ if he knew he was going to die, will you want to come back as the savior of the world again?
We do not just help you track the stories, we break them down, explore all the angles, analyze the issues so that you can fully comprehend the stories and use them to make the right decisions. Welcome back. In a desperate bid to halt the continued free fall of the nation's currency, the Naira, the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has suspended both the retail Dutch auction system, RDAS, and the wholesale Dutch auction system, WDAS. A statement signed by the Apex Bank's Director, Corporate Communications Department, Ibrahim Muazu, says the closure is with immediate effect. The CBN says it took the decision in order to reduce the widening margin between the rates in the interbank market and the retail Dutch auction window, saying that the huge margin is causing sharp practices like round-tripping, speculative buying, rent-seeking, among others. It says the situation has continued to put pressure on the nation's foreign reserve, which has witnessed dramatic decline in the past few months. It has now directed all authorized dealers and the public to channel their forex demands to the interbank foreign exchange market. Now, the Naira has hit an all-time low against the dollar, trading above the 200 Naira threshold against the dollar in the interbank market. Some analysts are of the opinion that the best way for the CBN to deal with this is to further devalue the Naira.
Since most economic activities are actually executed at the parallel market rate, any trade that is done at the official rate is actually a subsidy. So, and you cannot continue to subsidize the market. So I think the appropriate thing today is to allow Naira to devalue to the parallel market rate. Given that the challenge that we had earlier, which was how would the political leaders respond or react to a devaluation of the naira has already happened. So you can no longer say that there will be a political backlash. If the backlash will happen, it would have already happened, because the parallel market rate had already moved significantly away from the official rate.
The CBN has strongly rejected any call for further devaluation. It says it will continue to intervene in the interbank foreign exchange market to meet legitimate demands. The central bank devalued the naira last November by 8%, widening the target band to between 168 and 174. But despite the devaluation, the naira continues to weaken in the face of declining foreign exchange earnings for the government as a result of falling global oil prices. The Consul General of the People's Republic of China in Lagos, Liu Kan, has revealed that the volume of trade between Nigeria and China in 2014 was about $18.1 billion. Liu said Nigeria is China's third major export destination in Africa after South Africa and Angola, while China is Nigeria's largest source of imports and third major trade partner. The envoy said Chinese companies had in 2014 invested in Nigeria's construction, manufacture, oil and gas, telecommunications, agriculture, real estate sectors and free trade zones. Liu, who expressed the Chinese government's satisfaction with both countries' present level of win-win cooperation, said that both countries' socio-economic relations would be brighter in the years ahead. The Consul General also disclosed that the Chinese government plans to simplify visas application processes for Nigerian businessmen and women this year to enable Nigerians to do business with Chinese manufacturers and businessmen. Worried by the slow rate at which companies are fully migrating to the International Financial Reporting Standards, the Acting Director General of Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, Moniro Guarzo, has expressed the readiness of the Commission to assist companies attain a smooth migration. Speaking while receiving members of the Association of Reporting Accountants in the capital market in his office in Abuja, Guarzo said the Commission is having some challenges with some of these companies migrating to IFRS. He therefore said SEC would work with ARACM, to ensure the companies have a smooth migration to the International Financial Reporting Standard. He said the Commission plans to collaborate with ARACM in providing training now for over 40% of the companies that are yet to migrate to the IFRS. Now, barely 2 weeks after the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, and United States Pharmacopoeia, USP, awarded National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, with IEC 17025-2005 certification. The agency is on the verge of being declared the Regional Center for Food Safety, a feat that has been attained in the country. That has not been attained, I should say, in the country. Its food laboratory in Oshodi has been pre-selected by the International Atomic Energy Agency as Africa's regional designated center for food safety. While announcing the international body's intention, experts of IAEA, Professor Eric Mitema and Ajuma Dembele, said they are sure that Nigeria will meet the basic requirements needed for its approval as Africa's RDC for food safety. They spoke at a media briefing on the pre-selection phase in Lagos recently. Mitema explained that it will mean that the agency can generate money for the country through various dealings that would be carried out in the food center, ranging from IAEA sending students from different countries for training and recommending the center to other food and drug bodies such that products can be certified here in Nigeria. Now, describing the pre-selection phase as a road to a landmark achievement, NAFDAC boss Dr. Paul Ori said the agency would serve as a regional center for food safety, where personnel would be trained if its food laboratory is eventually selected. Now, this might sound funny, but, well, Mugabe, that's the president of Zimbabwe, Robert Mugabe, would turn 91 years on February 21st, 2015. Now, while that may not be news as such, what is news is that the cuisine that will be on offer for guests who would be attending the celebrations, of course, is surely going to be news. Local farmer Tendai Musasa has pledged to donate 2 elephants, 2 buffaloes, 2 sables, 5 impalas and a lion worth a combined £78,000 for the ceremony. Now, the lavish celebration will be held on February the 28th on a championship golf course at the Elephant Hills Resort, a luxury hotel with spa, swimming pool and tennis courts at Victoria Falls. The country's ruling party, ZANU-PF, is hosting the $1 million birthday bash, just as they did last year when he turned 90. An estimated 20,000 people are expected to attend. Now, according to an official of the ruling party, Tongai Kasukuwere, the party had raised 60% of the money needed for the birthday. Mugabe was elected as the chairperson of the African Union, AU, on the 30th of January this year. He had previously led the AU's predecessor, the Organization of African Unity, from 1997 to 1998. Well, what can I say? It's good to be President Mugabe at this time. Côte d'Ivoire has adopted an anti-terrorism bill. According to government spokesperson Bruno Kone, the bill aims to reinforce the country's counter-terrorism law and guard it against proliferation of terrorist groups. The bill proposes a prison sentence of between 10 to 20 years and a fine of $100,000 for anyone found guilty of involvement in terrorism-related activities. The bill will have to be debated before it is passed by Parliament. And to sports now, the Flying Eagles of Nigeria beat their Ghanaian counterparts 2-0 as they prepare for the forthcoming 2015 African Youth Championship holding in Senegal. The Junior Eagles were playing their second test match against their West African counterparts after they were held to a 2-2 draw on Monday in Accra. The match, which is a game of 2 halves, saw the Ghanaians dominate the first half while the Nigerian team dominated the second half. The Flying Eagles got ahead in the 70th minute of the match through Captain Musa Mohamed's well-taken penalty after a Ghanaian player was adjudged to have handled the ball in his penalty area. Substitute Ifeanyi Matthews sealed the victory in stoppage time when he finished off a flowing attack with a powerful shot from the top of the box. Congratulations. Let's just hope they perform well when the championship begins proper in Senegal. Now, Arsenal Football Club of England coach Arsene Wenger has pledged his support as the Nigerian Football Federation seeks to lure young Nigerian players in the diaspora to play for the Super Eagles. NFF chairman Amadou Pinnick disclosed this after meeting with a Frenchman at the Arsenal training ground in London. Pinnick said the Arsenal boss assured him that he would not prevent any player from playing for their fatherland. So far, they are willing to do so. Chuba Akpom and Semi Ajayi, currently on the books of Arsenal, are some of the Nigerian talents that are eligible to play for Nigeria. Well, good one there coming from Wenger. Let's just hope he releases those boys now to play for us. We'll just wait and see. That's it on News Now. We thank you very much for watching. We're back again shortly.